Hello children, welcome to yet another session of Geography Class 8 Chapter Migration. So before we commence, let us first see what we have done in our earlier session. We had completed the chapter on migration and I had asked you to do the short questions on your own. For the long questions, 3 long questions were discussed last time, and the next 3 questions we are going to discuss in this session. So, let us start. Question number 4. Children, please focus on this question. Question number 4. Analyze any 2 factors responsible for migration. And for this, turn to page number 37. And the causes of migration, they have asked to analyze any 2 factors of migration. So one of the factors is the economic factor. Please children underline that the main reason is the economic factors is that in developing countries, low agricultural income, agricultural unemployment and underemployment, lack of alternative sources of income are considered basic factors pushing the migrants towards the developed areas with greater job opportunities and opportunities for better employment, higher wages, facilities, better working conditions, attractive amenities are the pull factors in this area. Then there is another factor, which is that the mechanization of certain in the agricultural sector has reduced the labor requirement in the rural areas, and they are going for alternative sources of income in other rural areas. They are migrating. So there are pull and push factors here also. So you can just write it in points. And you can select any other point, like you can select education or marriage. That is also one of the factors for migration from the rural to the rural areas, causes of migration. So you can just any of the factors, be it lack of security, be it education, be it marriage. So select and write 2-3 lines under it. So this was the question on analyze the 2 factors which are responsible for migration. Next is analyze social consequence of migration, and for this again turn to page number 38, and under this, the social consequences, you will find that the main social consequences is when migration results in interaction between varied culture. You can underline. Now, because of this intermingling of the 2 cultures or various cultures, what is happening? Different cultures through migration leads to cultural interaction and enrichment. Apart from that, what happens is, however, coming together, the last 3 lines of the first paragraph, however, coming together of people belonging to different culture leads to cultural conflicts in certain cases. You may also include in your answer that family breakdown, fragmentation of social networks, psychosocial stress are other negative impacts of migration. So that was the question on the economic factor, analyze the economic consequence of migration. The 6th question, children, explain the economic consequences of migration. For this, again, we have to turn to page number 38. And here the economic consequences are here. So, what happened? Migration of people, just as international trade has direct impact on both the sending and the receiving country. The receiving country gains as Immigration increases the supply of labor, which increases employment, production, and national income. Adverse effects of immigration includes loss of job for the locals, heavy burden on the natural resources and public services. Then the last paragraph, the sending country gains through migrants as they transfer the earning to the home country in the form of foreign exchange, but the sending country also loses the reduction in the skilled workforce, which is critical for the productivity and economic growth. So this way, these are the economic consequences where the sending country may gain also and may be a loser also, because it is losing the skilled workers and there is the productivity and the economic growth is not developed in these countries. Okay, now back to the same page. Yes, page number 39, and now we come to the fill in the blanks. And the phenomena of urbanization began in Britain in the late 18th century. So children, write that the first blank, the phenomena of urbanization began in Britain in the late 18th century. Next, fill in the blank. A person who indulges in immigration is called an immigrant. Next, the introduction of Green Revolution in Punjab led to rural migration. It led to rural migration. There was a considerable amount of migration which was a part of rural migration. Okay. Next is migration of skilled human resources from one country to the other is termed as brain drain. Okay children, write brain drain for this. Next is the economic factor is most important factor for the migration. So write economic factor. Now to the next page. Children, please turn over to page 40. Now this is match the following. And if you migrate to another country, you have to choose from column B, and it will be the E part which says emigrant. So emigrant is when you are migrating from your country to another country. So you are exiting the country and that means you are an emigrant. Next one, if your friend living in America decides to migrate to India, it will be immigrant. D is immigrant. Next, migration of skilled workers is brain drain, A. Next, movement of people from the rural to metro city is rural to urban migration, B part. Rural to urban migration, B. Next, movement of people from metro to village, it will be C, and it is the fifth one. It is, and the answer is C. It is urban to rural migration. Okay children, I expect you to do the long answer and the short answer in your interleaved copy, whereas the other exercises you can conveniently do in your book itself. Do not need to write the new terms that you can learn from the book itself. Only I expect you to do the short answers and the answers in detail. With this, I end this session, and stay safe, stay at home. Thank you.